Hello, Curious! Tina Turner is a living music legend, one of the most famous and successful stars in the world. Although she will soon turn 82, she is still present in the hearts of generations of listeners, and her hits are known to everyone. Hailed as the queen of rock and roll and, in recent years, the grandmother of rock, she is undeniably the artist whose music will be timeless and immortal. However, in recent days, disturbing news has circulated the media. Known for her powerful vocals and long-lasting career, Tina has sold the rights to her work. What does this actually mean? Why did she do it, and how much did she earn from it? Her decision has worried many, and some fans are even wondering if Tina is seriously ill. Could such a move mean that she is simply saying goodbye? Although professionally the singer has achieved almost everything, privately, for many years, she experienced real hell. Recently, she had to face the biggest blow for her mother. Her son took his own life. Although she's shown on stage, fate did not spare her. What do you really know about her? And how is she doing? Stay tuned until the very end, but before we move on, as always, don't forget to subscribe so you can always stay up to date with our new episodes. We are sure that each of you is very familiar with songs such as GoldenEye, Private Dancer, The Best, What's Love Got to Do With It, We Don't Need Another Hero, or I Don't Wanna Lose You. And these are just few of the biggest hits of Tina Turner's repertoire. And if you don't associate the music with the title, then surely, after typing the name of the song, at least on YouTube, you listen to the first few notes, you will think to yourself, actually, I know that. No wonder after all, the now nearly 82-year-old Tina Turner, who has been in the music world for over 60 years, is one of the most iconic rock and soul music stars in history. She is also one of the most profitable artists in terms of concert sales in the world. It is estimated that the circulation from sales of all of Turner's releases is 200 million copies, making her the rock artist with the most recordings sold. Turner is also one of the most successful female artists in music history. She has received 12 Grammy Awards, including 8 competition awards, 3 Grammy Hall of Fame awards, an honor given to recordings that are at least 25 years old in the year the award is given, and that have influenced the course of musical history. And in 2018, a special Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award went to Tina. There is really a lot to talk about her musical achievements, and if we wanted to tell you about everything, this episode would have to be at least several hours long. Our beloved singer, the 20th century music icon, is admired not only for her immense talent, stage energy and sense of style, but also for her incredible strength of character. She endured a lot of harm in her life and survived. She used to say about herself, "The strength of femininity, that's who I am. That is why I never broke down." Her private life was full of tragic twists and turns and was not strewn with roses. But let's go briefly from the beginning. Tina Turner was born Anna Mae Bullock on November 26, 1939, in a small town of Brownsville, Tennessee. She was the youngest daughter of Zelma Priscilla and Floyd Richard Bullock. She had 2 sisters. As a young child, she was raised by her grandparents from her father's side for a certain part of her childhood. Later, when her parents' marriage broke up, her mother ran away from her husband, and the man started a new family and moved to Detroit, and Tina was once again placed in the care of her grandmother, but this time from her mother's side. It wasn't until her grandmother died that her mother took care of the children, but by then, Tina was already a teenager. Years later, in an interview she gave, the star confessed that she was an unwanted child. The mother already had daughters and did not plan on more children and wanted to leave her husband, but she became pregnant. As Turner confessed, "She gave birth to me, but I felt she didn't love me. I didn't understand why she wasn't showing me affection." Never having had a good relationship, the singer quickly became independent. Tina displayed musical talent from an early age. She began singing gospel music in church choirs, which introduced her to the world of rhythm and blues and soul. By profession, however, she was to become a nurse. After graduation, she worked at a Jewish hospital. The turning point in her life was the late 1950s. It was then that Tina and her sister started to visit clubs. It was 1957 when, during one of the outings, she saw Ike Turner perform with the band The Kings of Rhythm for the first time. Things eventually worked out so well that when Tina got a microphone one night and sang the blues ballad You Know I Love You, her vocal skills impressed Ike so much that she became the lead singer of the band. Around that time, she became a mother for the first time. She was 18 years old when she gave birth to her oldest son, who was born Raymond Craig on August 20th, 1958. His biological father was Kings of Rhythm saxophonist Raymond Hill, but Tina's life did not work out with this man. He left her before their son was born. Soon after, her personal paths crossed with the discoverer of her talent, Ike Turner. Tina's star first shone on a grand scale in 1960, when Ike wrote the song A Fall in Love for singer Art Lassiter. Although the then 20-year-old singer was supposed to sing backing vocals after Lasseter failed to show up for the recording, Ike had the girl sing lead vocals because he had already paid for her time in the studio. He originally intended to use the song with her performance as a demo, but was convinced by a local DJ to send the record to the president of an R&B label, Sue Records. Its president at the time was Juggy Murray, who was impressed and bought the track, paying Turner a $25,000 advance for the rights to the song. It was then that Ike changed her artistic identity. Anna Mae Bullock ceased to exist for the public. He then imposed on her the nickname Tina Turner. The single, A Fall in Love, was released in July 1960 and immediately became a huge hit, conquering the major charts. After recording the song, Turner told her partner that she did not want to continue their relationship, and it was then that she was to experience violence at his hands for the first time. He responded to her at the time by punching her in the head. As she recalled years later, this incident was the first time he instilled fear in her, but she chose to stay with him because she truly cared for him. She was also already pregnant with her second child by then. In October 1960, Ronald Ronnell Turner, known as Ronnie, was born from her union with Ike. The career of the duo Ike and Tina Turner grew rapidly. This is evidenced by the fact that their next single, Is Gonna Work Out Fine, reached high on the major charts in 1961, earning a Grammy nomination for Best Rock and Roll Recording. In 1962, the couple moved to Los Angeles. They also married that same year, and Tina adopted her husband's two sons from a previous relationship. The boys Ike Turner Jr., born in October 1958, and Michael Turner, born in February 1960, were even contemporaries of the singer's biological sons. The man's previous partner left him, and the young children and Tina raised them as her own. Over the years, Ike and Tina had created hit after hit, winning accolades and awards. They authored such hits as Idolize You, It's Gonna Work Out Fine, Paul Fall, and many more. During the 70s, the singer was also beginning to take steps as a solo artist. From the outside, it may have seemed like everything in her life was going perfectly, but her everyday life was hell. For 16 years of marriage, Ike was physically and mentally abusive towards her. He had been violent and promiscuous throughout their relationship, which led Tina to attempt to take her own life in 1968. As she confessed years later, "It was my relationship with Ike that made me most unhappy. I was really in love with him at first. Look what he did for me, but he was totally unpredictable." Although she used to avoid talking about what had happened to her, in recent years she has opened up about it. She revealed that she was forced into a marriage. Her husband was cruel because he depended on her. He did not like the fact that he had to rely on her. As she concluded, it was hard for the man to accept her immense popularity because he was the one who came up with her nickname and forced her to adopt it. He considered himself the father of her success. One part of her statement read, "I didn't want to argue with him because it always ended in a black eye, a broken nose, a cracked lip or rib." Intimate encounters were also full of violence and aggression. Bullied, humiliated and beaten, Tina finally broke free from her tyrant husband, addicted to booze and illegal substances after several years. The end came in 1976, when beaten she fled to a motel. As she recounted, she had absolutely nothing, only 36 cents. The divorce was finalized in 1978, and Tina sang and performed to pay off the huge debts that were mounting through lawsuits over missed agreements, contracts and cancelled concerts by the duo Ike and Tina Turner. It was only a few years later, in 1983 to be exact, that there was a career revival for the then 44-year-old singer. Tina Turner became a superstar again when her album Private Dancer was released in 1984. Which achieved outstanding commercial success both in the United States and internationally. Her solo career followed years and decades of great triumphs in the music world. The list of hits and achievements of the diva is too long to mention. Turner, after many years of being a victim to her husband's abuse and control in both professional and personal matters, rose from the ashes like a phoenix, and later she became one of the most important artists who defined mainstream rock in the 1980s. A few days ago, the media circulated the news that the star has sold the rights to her music to the BMG record label. The agreement stipulates that Tina will transfer her part of the rights to record and publish her greatest hits and dozens of other songs which were created during 6 decades of her career. The signed documents, however, do not affect her existing contract with Warner Music, which will continue to distribute her music. However, the agreement signed by both parties also includes provisions on Tina's transfer of the rights to her name, image and likeness to BMG. The amount of the transaction is not known, but it is estimated that with one signature the diva earned $50 million. Reports of the sale of the music rights, however, have alarmed many. Some even worried that the singer decided to take such a step because she might be in poor health and saying goodbye to the world. Well, her music is still on the radio stations, so perhaps not everyone noticed that the star has been keeping her professional activities and public appearances to a minimum for years, as she has long since retired artistically. Tina will soon turn 82 years old, and in fact, in recent years, she slowly said goodbye to the stage and appeared in public only on very special occasions. In March 2021, a documentary film devoted to her, titled Simply Tina, was released on the HBO platform. The artist herself participated in its creation. In the documentary on the life of Tina Turner, the diva told about the most important moments of her career and her difficult past, not omitting the most difficult topic, domestic violence, which she experienced from her ex-husband. The singer opened up about the hell she once lived through only a few years ago, releasing a biography. In the documentary, she admitted, among other things, that although decades have passed since her difficult experiences, the nightmarish images when Ike Turner beat and humiliated her have never left. Although she managed to break free from the toxic relationship over 40 years ago, she still suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the trauma she suffered as a victim of physical and psychological abuse. As she confessed, "Those scenes come back to me, real images, they are my curse." The star has led a loving life for many years with her second husband, 16 years younger than her, Erwin Bach, a music producer whom she met in the mid-1980s. After living together for more than 25 years, they became husband and wife in 2007. They have been living permanently in Switzerland since about 95. The star also renounced her American citizenship and is currently a Swiss citizen. Although her life has stabilized, it has not lacked tragedy. In 2018, one of her biological sons, Craig, took his life. After her release from her first marriage, she was hardly a present mother. One of her adopted sons confessed that she did not keep in touch with them for a long time, but provided for their material existence. It is known, however, that she kept in touch with Craig, because as she confessed, it was only after his death that she realised that her recent conversations with him had a second meaning. The man had also posted pictures of his mother on his Facebook. As she confessed on her Instagram, her son's funeral was the saddest moment for her as a mother, because although he was 59 years old, he will always be her little child. Turner, whose fortune is estimated at $250 million, plans to spend the next few years in peace, away from the media and the glare of the spotlight. She will focus on her private life as well as on her health problems and taking care of herself. In recent years, she has faced colon cancer, suffered a stroke, and underwent a kidney transplant, the donor of which was her husband. A decade ago, she already said that she was sick of partying and loved retirement. As she recently confessed on her Instagram, and here we quote, "I am 81 years old and happier than ever. Can aging be hard sometimes? Sure. As much as I loved performing, I was really looking forward to retirement." So all indications are that fans of the star can breathe a sigh of relief. Her sale of the creative rights is not due to the fact that the star is saying goodbye to the world. It was just another step in saying goodbye to the stage and making sure that her artistic output is in safe hands and put to good use. And tell us curious, what is your favourite song from Tina Turner's repertoire? Do you think we will never see her live on stage again, or will Turner retreat to her home? Let us know, because we always are waiting for your comments. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and if you enjoy our content, you can click on the thanks button below to help support the channel. Until next time.